So today's gonna be a little different. Ever since chapter 87 of Dragon Ball Super dropped, Black Frieza has kind of been the talk of the series outside of the anime returning at some point. The introduction of a new form for Frieza came as an absolute shocker to us all, as his absence couldn't have been in vain, but to show up and do what he did as easily as he did was troubling. Although the already fatigued Goku and Vegeta were spared, Gas, who had already previously worn down both Ultra Instinct Goku and Ultra Ego Vegeta, was not. This would blow us all away, as Frieza would go on to state that this downtime since the tournament had not been wasted and he himself had decided to train as well, and that brings us to our video today. With little explanation on Frieza's training during this 10 years in this room of spirit and time, I wanted to do my own little spin on the events that could have led up to and taken place during that period. What exactly did Frieza do here? What if he didn't find that room but it was shown to him? Or what if he was actually training with someone the entire time? If you guys have been enjoying all of the anime content lately, consider leaving a like on the video and be sure to tap that subscribe button and have those notifications on to never miss an upload. Without further ado, it's already been half a year since the Tournament of Powers concluded. Universe 7 is still as rowdy as ever, but as always, no threat is greater than the combined prowess of the Z Fighters. Moro was a galactic menace, but thanks to everyone's help, Goku managed to defeat him. Meanwhile, in a galaxy far away and on a peculiar planet, a certain someone has started establishing his state of operations. It's Frieza. This will do. It's not enough that I get stronger, you all should become indispensable too. I'll make sure that the Frieza Force is the single greatest empire throughout all 12 universes. Now get down here, Frieza states while standing on the surface of Planet X. But sir, it's impossible. Ever since the beginning of time and space, no race has ever survived on this planet. Not even yours, my lord, one of the Frieza soldiers says. This right here is the planet with the most lethal atmosphere and gravitational forces. Come on, you are all reptiles. Get down here. If you can't survive this, you will never survive the unknown conditions of the other universes. I don't want any pushovers in my empire, Frieza states. But sir, all of us may very well die within an instant. Even you are feeling restrained, aren't you? The Frieza soldier replies. Just get down here. All of you have my permission to die. But listen and never forget this, Frieza declares. From this moment onward, I'll be watching you all. Whoever survives will get special training from me, and when I conquer all of the universes, you'll be awarded with the greatest pleasures this reality has to offer. It's not that his words by themselves were unreasonable. It's the glare in his eyes that compelled everyone to just instinctively act. They knew that whether they act or not, they'll die either way, but if by any chance they survive, they'll be set for life. And so, they all start jumping right in like the brainwashed warriors they are. At that moment, the Frieza Force had 10,000 members from over 100 different races. Most of them were reptiles, but almost all of the races were handpicked by Frieza. However, over 9,000 of them would melt away the instant they entered the atmosphere. The air was poisonous, the gravity destroyed the mechanisms of every single organ in their body, and the heat purged them out of existence. The ones who were left continued to bear the overwhelming pressure, and almost a third of them successfully reached the surface. But the death count didn't stop there. Within an hour, only 100 of them were left. And yes, that one Frieza soldier from before was still alive somehow. Good. Now I'll whip you all into shape myself. By the time I'm through with you all, you'll either be able to thrive anywhere or you'll be dead, Frieza states as he laughs. Sir, can we get some water? I think I'm hallucinating, that Frieza soldier from before suggests. He was somehow the sturdiest of them all in the sense that he was still able to convey his thoughts through words. As for the rest of them, they'd already lost it thanks to the extreme heat and poisonous air. Cannibalism and catabolism had broke out. Surprisingly, the ones who were the weakest had become the most dangerous. They start preying on even the ones who were exponentially stronger and fully devour them. And one Frieza soldier from before, we'll just call him Soldier A, was initially perplexed by this exercise from Frieza, but when his mind deluded him into thinking of the fellow members as food, he also jumped in. Seeing this, Frieza simply laughed maniacally. He knew hardly anyone would survive, but by some chance they do, he'll treat them like rare assets. Within the next few minutes, only 4 of them were left. They had all become accustomed to the environment and had also gained their senses back. The physical survival traits they lacked were all compensated for when they ate other reptiles. As for the ones that are left, we'll call them members B, C, and D, and of course, along with member A. They were still in no shape to continue living on this planet though, but Frieza was ruthless. He made them all stay there for that entire day to construct a fort. Well done. As a reward, I'll allow you to leave this planet for a few hours, Frieza continues. Go get yourself some food. Don't forget to get a month's worth of crabs for me as well. Now this is perfect, Frieza continues. I doubt those monkeys can ever survive under conditions this preposterous. All 4 of them are suffering from immense instability, but they've also become quite strong. I wonder how strong will I get after training on this planet. The 4 soldiers would leave the planet, but even after 2 full days, none of them returned. By this point, Frieza was getting impatient. He knew if he went any longer without food, it'll prove to be quite fatal. So he leaves the planet to go check up on them, but all he would find was 4 corpses floating around in space. That's right, now that they had all gotten accustomed to Planet X, anywhere else was just a literal death sentence. Their bodies were too unstable to adapt so quickly. Frieza's experiment was a complete failure. What the heck? This doesn't make any sense. Why would they all die in regular space after surviving that stupid planet? Frieza was genuinely angry at this point. The overwhelming gap between the survival traits of his species and the others was too much, but realizing this, he finally understood what he really needed to conquer the universes. And just like that, he sneaks back into Universe 6 and instantly begins to search. No, not for Frost, not yet at least, who will become a part of his plan later. What he's looking for are the Dragon Balls, and then he'll go on to recruit Frost. He hops from planet to planet, but most of them had never even heard about the Dragon Balls. Luckily, he soon comes across a planet that was giving off a somewhat unusual aura, and surprisingly, he then finds someone who knows about the Dragon Balls. Oh, Dragon Balls, right? Well, I don't know what you want to do with them, but our dragons don't have any balls, sorry, the guy says. This gets on Frieza's nerves, and he was gonna destroy that fantastical planet right away, but the individual then replies, stop, it was just a poor joke. I know about the mythical Dragon Balls you were looking for. Frieza stops and tells him he has 10 seconds to explain himself. Alright, so there used to be a planet where green people resided. They also had a tradition or ritual or something that involved Dragon Balls. Unfortunately, their planet was destroyed around 50 years ago, although I heard some of them managed to escape in the nick of time. I have no idea where they are though, he says. Interesting, Frieza replies. As expected, this universe also has Namekians. Alright, I'll be staying here until you go and locate those Namekians. What do you mean, the guy says? I literally have no idea where they are. It'll take several lifetimes and I still won't have any clue. Well, Frieza couldn't really argue with that, and he didn't have that much time to laze around either, so... Wait a minute, Frieza asked. You mentioned a dragon before, didn't you? Take me there, actually. The person hesitates for a minute, but then realizes that he'd rather show the dragon than die. It only takes them a few minutes worth of flying to reach the dragon, but the moment Frieza sees it, he's taken aback. It was the same kind as the one he saw back on planet Namek. The only difference is that while this one is a statue, that one was real. But even though it's just a statue, he knew that the inhabitants of this planet definitely know something about those Namekians. You lied to me, didn't you, Frieza asserts. You guys know where those Namekians are. And we will never share their location, an old sage says as he appears. Listen, Frieza replies. I'm usually quite a kind person, but you do not want to see me get mad. Hurry up and tell me where they are. I need to bring someone back to life. He was definitely serious, but he wanted to get more information, and so destroying the planet wasn't really in his best interest. Oh, so that's it, the old sage replies. Yeah, and that's why I need the Dragon Balls, Frieza says. Well, let me guess. You want to bring back your dead brother, don't you, the old sage states. How did you know that, Frieza asks. Young man, I have the ability to read other people's minds. Well, that's convenient. So you know what I do when something pisses me off, right? Frieza states. Yeah, I know. I also know about your insane thirst for strength and dominance, but what if I told you we have the power to not just bring your brother back, but to also make you stronger, the sage states. Frieza was all ears at this point. He had learned from his past defeats. He now knows that there are things in the universe that he has no idea about, and so he's open to any and all kinds of information that can help him get stronger. Alright, I see. You're curious as well, aren't you? Basically, we'll bring your brother back for a temporary period of time using a magic spell, and since it's your brother, all I require is your blood to perform the ritual, he says. My, how interesting, Frieza replies. But how will that make me stronger exactly? Plus, I don't want my stupid brother back here for just a day or two. I need him back as one of my subordinates. Do not worry, I have a perfect solution, the old sage states. And just like that, they head south and straight to a certain old lady fortune teller's palace. Once there, Frieza gets straight to the point and tells the old lady exactly what he wants, but she couldn't understand his language, and so the old sage and that quirky young guy from before had to translate. They begin preparations right away and also take a vial of Frieza's blood. As this is going on, Frieza realizes that his suspicions were true. This was no ordinary planet. There was something fundamentally different about this one. Why do they have a Namekian dragon statue anyway, and how do they have so many varied abilities? The old sage catches him thinking and says, "Listen, young man, this is the planet of mystics. Consider that and things will start making more sense." Frieza just brushes off the old man's comments as whatever, because as long as he can have Cooler by his right hand and get even stronger, he'll put up with just about any nonsense. Anyways, before he knew it, the process was already done. Something was fishy though, he still couldn't see Cooler anywhere. "Hey, I thought I asked you to bring him back," Frieza asked straight away as he got more annoyed. "Yes, and it's been done. You just have to go through this door and meet him," the sage replies while pointing to a certain room. It felt fishy, but Frieza was confident he'll be able to handle it even if it's a trap. But this was more than a trap. The moment he opens the door, he feels instantly provoked. Well, if it isn't my arrogant little brother," Cooler says. "Ah, so it did work," Frieza replies. "I see you're still as punchable as ever." "Come on, Frieza, you're saying your one and only brother after all this time? At least say my name," Cooler mocks. As the two brothers continue their bickering, however, the doorway to the chamber behind them is intentionally destroyed. That's right, both Frieza and Cooler are trapped in this endlessly white realm. Meanwhile, the old sage smiles. He knew that letting Frieza run amok would do them no good, especially since this dude is planning on taking over all of the universes. It was all a carefully considered trap and Frieza just couldn't see it coming. As for Frieza, his anxiety wasn't looking too high. No way. You mean I'm trapped here in this plain space together with this purple weasel for an indefinite period of time? Frieza shouts. "I don't know about you, I'm just glad to finally be out. By the way, I still haven't shown you my new form, have I?" Cooler says. "You mean the one where you grow that weird looking helmet on your head?" "Yeah, it's lame and nothing compared to my new transformations," Frieza replies. "Well, not quite. I have another one. But let's see yours first," Cooler suggests. Right then in that very moment, Cooler starts feeling overwhelmed by Frieza's presence for the first time ever. Frieza turns golden and then takes it even further beyond by entering his true golden Frieza state. "Ah, perfect. Now I don't have to hold back," Cooler responds after witnessing true golden Frieza. First, he would enter his fourth transformation and then he starts mimicking Frieza's transformation. Unlike Frieza though, who took his time, his transformation is sudden and abrupt. Instantly, Cooler's body turns completely platinum. He had learned from both of his defeats at the hands of the Saiyans, and now, with an insanely sharp concentration, he was able to recreate himself from the very foundation. Golden Frieza, huh? Not too shabby, little brother. Allow me to show you Platinum Cooler in the true extent of the powers of our race. Frieza, through gritted teeth, wouldn't back down, however, as even though angered, Cooler's new form would pique his interest more than anything and prove that maybe this wouldn't be a waste of time after all. "Well, it looks like someone's been doing quite a bit of training in hell," Frieza says. "Now, let's see if there was any truth to the words the old man spoke prior. If training in this distorted realm works, then not even those Saiyans will be able to stop me." and this would only be the beginning of what we would later come to know as Black Frieza. That is going to do it for this one, guys. Thank you so much for watching all the way until the end if you made it this far. These what ifs are always really fun to do, and I know everybody loves Saiyans, but I like a lot of the other characters like the Frieza race characters, the Namekians, the androids, so on and so forth. So I do like to occasionally do videos on other characters as well, but Cooler is a special one. There's been a lot of hype with Cooler going on lately with games such as Dokkan and Legends. I honestly think Cooler could be next up for a rework and come into the series canonically somehow, whether it be the manga, the anime returning, or maybe he's the main antagonist in the next Dragon Ball Super movie. I think any of those ideas are pretty hype, but Frieza's relative absence after the Tournament of Power up until now leaves room for the writers to kind of play with Cooler however they want, if they wanted to go that route. Let me know down below in the comment section how you guys feel Cooler could be written into the story, or what the next manga arc / anime arc / movie could be about. But that is gonna do it for this one, guys. Have a great day, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.